Welcome to this episode of Mainline Connect. My name is Jennifer Lynn Robinson, and my guest today is Randi Vladimer, Esquire. Thank you for being here, Randi.
Thank you, Jennifer, for having me.
And you run your own practice in
Yes,
the
I
Wayne
do.
area, correct?
Yes, I have my own practice in Radnor. We have a family law practice that encompasses Chester, Montgomery, and Delaware counties.
Wonderful. So we like to start our show talking about maybe some networking tips that can help other business people out there. And, since you are a lawyer, I know, from my past as a lawyer, that being part of the local bar associations is always, important for your practice.
Yes.
And I'm wondering from a networking perspective, how important is that for your own practice to be part of kind of industry groups in the area?
I don't think that the bar associations are as important for networking.
Yeah.
I do think they're important for learning and for CLEs, continuing legal education, and procedural issues that arise with the various counties, because we do practice in at least 3 counties. I do have smaller groups of networking that I do with specialized attorneys, such as a bankruptcy attorney, an estate and trust attorney, real estate, tax, and I think that's a better networking focus because we refer to each other.
Okay.
And when you go to bar associations, it's all attorneys.
Have you met some of the people that are in kind of your referral group through some of the bar associations, or more through your practice?
More through my practice and more through social media, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
I've met them through either Facebook, LinkedIn, and some organizations that I've gone to.
So do you find that, as far from a networking perspective, is it better for you to go to things that are more generalized?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I believe that. Yes. I think that any place that there are people
Right.
is, general people who, just like you and myself, run-of-the-mill people. I think that's better because even though they might not be going through a family law situation, that they may know somebody in the future, I connect with them, they connect with me, I can refer them business, they can refer me business, and I think it works out really well. They learn to trust me, I learn to trust them, and they're always in my mind and I'm always in their mind.
Yeah, and you just named some of the things that I think are so key to networking, which is being at the top of mind and kind of that likability, trust that, when it does come time, if somebody unfortunately needs a family lawyer in a situation or maybe has a family member or friend that does, they're not going to open the phone book. They're going to, think about who they know that they trust and would trust with, their cousin or their friend's situation.
No, that's true because, first of all, unless you're ABC attorney, I'm not going to be in the phone book because I'm in a V. So it's more important to get the connection through just the general public and just being out there than it is through my fellow members of the bar.
Yeah. Yeah. I know when I was an attorney, I found that, it was still important to be a part of those bar associations.
I agree.
Even if it's more for ceremony, I guess, because, people are generally a part of the Philadelphia bar or the Pennsylvania bar. And when you're not, I think people find it kind of odd. Why aren't you a member of the bar?
Right.
So, yeah.
we're a member. I'm a member of the Chester County Bar. My one associate's a member of the Montgomery County Bar.
Okay.
And my other associate's a member of the Delaware County Bar. And
so
then
you spread it out.
We spread it out. And then we also have a group that is dedicated to family law attorneys in Montgomery and Chester County.
Okay.
That we meet once a month, and it's about 80 people. And I find that interesting because we get tips from other attorneys and we get to meet the judges come and things like that. So in that respect, I think it's really good because you then have a one-on-one relationship with judges who learn to know you as a person and not just, there's Randi Vladimer, attorney, standing before me.
Yeah, that sounds like a very beneficial group. Especially, I know you've been practicing a long time, but there's always odd situations that come up, or maybe you want a different perspective. And to have that kind of group available where you can pick up the phone and say, hey, let me run this by you, that's crucial.
And I think that out here, what I've noticed ever since I started my practice is that the small law firms, we're all kind of one big law firm. A lot of us get along and we're not afraid to pick up the phone. I just got a call from an attorney, a younger attorney this morning, who said, I have this situation, what do you think? And I had a situation last week that I've never encountered. It's not in the rule books. I picked up a phone and to an older attorney and I said, older, more experienced. And I said, just in case he's watching, and I said, what do you think? So in that respect, the bar associations are good. I don't think they're as good for networking.
Yeah, but I think, that is part of networking.
Yes, it
to
is.
have that kind of database of people that you can go to for expertise in your field. So I think that's really important.
I mean, it's also good because I have a directory of bankruptcy attorneys I like, and tax attorneys I like, and real estate attorneys. So in that respect, it's really good. And then real estate agents and tax preparers and certified financial planners and things like that. So I have a core group of professionals that I can count on with my clients as well.
Yeah, and that sounds like would be very important for you. So that's good. So let's backtrack. So tell me about, are you one of the people who, since you were little, always wanted to be a lawyer, or no?
No. When I think I was really young, I wanted Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and I wanted to be an oceanographer. And I also obviously love animals, and I would have loved to have been a veterinarian.
I could see that.
I studied in high school. I studied the Sam Shepard murder case, which is actually based upon the Fugitive was based upon that.
Okay.
And I became fascinated with that case. And I did my actual college thesis on the case, and got to know a couple of the players involved, F. Lee Bailey, and actually Sam Shepard had died by the time I started really involved in the case, but I did get to talk to his brother. So that really started my interest in the law.
Interesting. I never knew any of that.
Yes.
Yeah. So then, did you initially go into criminal law?
I started in, I'm not from Pennsylvania, I'm not from Philadelphia nor Pennsylvania. I did start as an intern in the district attorney's office in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Between my second and third year of law school. I was invited to return after law school, and I did. And I was there for a number of years, and then I joined a very small but highly respected law firm in Philadelphia until I started my own practice in 1991.
So what led you into family law specifically?
Family law kind of found me.
Okay.
One thing I learned very early when I started my own practice was that my background as being a general litigator, as one person, you can't do that. And I started volunteering at the Women's Resource Center in Wayne.
Okay.
And family law cases just came to me, and I found it to be interesting. I liked helping the people, and that's how I became a family law attorney.
And you stuck with it.
And I stuck with it. And I think that my experience as a general litigator helped because it honed my ability to go into court. It honed my negotiation skills. And I practiced all over when I was in Philadelphia for the firm, and I was put in a number of situations that were, as a young attorney, a little bit uncomfortable, but it seasoned me and made me be able to go basically anywhere. I mean, I just tried a case up in Wayne County in November, which is pretty far.
Yeah.
It was fascinating because it was a one courtroom courthouse.
Wow.
And it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. It was just, I think the parking meter was 10 cents for an hour.
Oh my goodness.
And it was one
It's like
courtroom.
a different planet, right?
It was one courtroom. Both staircases, they had beautiful winding staircases, and they both met at the top for the one courtroom.
Yeah, I think, because I was also in litigation, I think being, especially a younger litigator, it really helps you in life and whatever practice or whatever you do after that with assessing situations quickly, reading people very quickly and correctly.
Yes.
So I think those are skills that can really serve you well in many realms of your life. Yeah.
And it does. I mean, it's, I always have to tell clients that I can only play the game with the cards I'm dealt. Mm-hmm. Jokers are not wild. And we make the case, we take the facts, and we make the case to the best of our ability, no matter what type of case it is. Mm-hmm. And, and we go forward from there. Yeah.
So you were with a smaller boutique firm, but I know is very prestigious. And what made you pull the trigger at the point you did to open your own practice?
I just thought it was time. One of the main reasons was that I had horses at the time, or I wanted to get back into having horses. I don't think I'd bought my first horse yet.
Okay.
And I wanted to get back into the horses, and I liked the mainline area, and this is where my horse was going to be. Well, I was going to be, I think at that time it was Glenmore. So I just bit the bullet and came out on my own and started in a room on a second floor building on Lancaster Avenue that doesn't even exist anymore.
Wow.
And it's grown from there.
So how did you get your first clients?
I think I got my first 2 clients from my former practice, from my former firm. And then just by word of mouth and people referring to me and the Women's Resource Center and volunteering at a few other places and just getting my name out there. It just kind of took off.
So do you feel now, all these years later, is it still kind of the same marketing efforts, or do you feel like there's other things? Yes, it is.
It is. It's getting your name out there. I still do a lot of volunteer. I still do, whenever Women's Resource Center calls, and they have a thing called Legal Direct, which is one night a month, and I volunteer at do some other pro bono work, and I just think it's really getting your name out there, whether it's meeting people face to face, whether it's on social media, whether it's donating my time to a father's group, a mother's group, and which I actually enjoy.
Yeah.
I enjoy teaching, so I enjoy giving seminars to local, churches, synagogues, civics groups about the law of divorce or custody or support, and just getting out there.
I think, a lot of the networking you do is very organic, and since you run your own practice, I think it's really important. So, and it seems like it's working well for you.
It has.
Yeah.
So far.
Now, what about the flip side of that? Are you somebody that believes or has tried kind of marketing efforts that are more paid advertising and publications and things like that? How has that worked out for you?
We have in the past. I've been very fortunate to have been best of the Mainline for several years. So we do promote that in Mainline Today magazine.
As you should.
We've also done some feature articles in Suburban Life. And we do some, we have a website, which I have now found a company that I'm comfortable with. My website is very old, but people like it because it gives them a lot of information. I just think, to quote a former retailer, that, an informed consumer is the best client. So as much as I can teach a client along the way, it's easier for me. So I've just, we're starting to do our new website with podcasts and videos, which is a little scary for me because I've never done that.
Are you doing the podcasts and videos?
I'm doing the podcasts and
really?
videos.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Soon you'll be on Periscope.
My tech person told me about Periscope. I'm not sure I know all about it, but
I'm still impressed. Yeah.
So we're delving into that, and so it's we have that side of it too, because a lot of networking and marketing these days is internet based.
Definitely.
It really is.
Yeah.
We have some legal things that we do. One group is called AVO. It's people can go on there and find attorneys and read ratings and read their background, and you're ranked from, I guess, 0 to 10. I've been fortunate to be a 10 attorney for a long time on there, and there's clients have done recommendations and things like that. And Best of the Mainline is nice because it's done by fellow attorneys. It's not like I can get my mother, father, great aunt, and cousin third time removed
to keep voting
to vote for me. It's attorneys have to write in, so that's pretty much it. It's a big honor.
It's a big honor, and you've gotten it for several years, so that's great. Yeah.
So it's good.
So tell us specifically about, I know you do family law, but tell the viewers what specifically you handle as far as legal situations.
We do, obviously, divorce. We do custody cases. We do support, protection from abuse, guardianship, adoptions. And so we run really the gamut of every type of family law case you can possibly think of. Okay. We do same-sex adoptions, and hopefully we won't be, but we will be, I assume, doing same-sex divorces. So adoptions are a lot of fun, because it's probably the happiest thing that we do.
Hopefully that balances out some of the bad custody cases.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of very, very tough cases in my office. I get referred by other attorneys tough cases that they don't want to handle, just because I have a reputation of being able to handle either the tough facts or the tough clients. So we do a lot of tough things.
So what about things like mediation for divorce? What are your thoughts on that?
I love mediation in custody cases because I think that the parties, if they can come to an agreement, they know themselves and they know their children better than any judge or any lawyer is ever going to know them. But it takes two to tango.
Sure.
With respect to mediation for financial issues in a divorce, I've seen really good mediators and I've seen really bad mediators. The problem with mediation is that the mediators are not lawyers and are not advising the parties of their legal rights, and that's really, really important. So even if people have a mediator or going to mediation, they still need an attorney. With arbitration is totally different. Arbitration is taking a case outside, away from the court, and having a private person be the judge, a private attorney. I just was asked to be an arbitrator in a case, and I'm really looking forward to it, to being on the other side of the table.
Which is a great experience.
I will not be wearing a black robe. So, but I have done it in several cases because although arbitration can be upfront more costly because you're paying a private person to sit, it can be a much faster process and in the end a lot less costly. So we are taking cases in certain counties away from the courts and putting them with private attorneys as arbitrators.
And I think that's great information for people to know that those options are out there,
Right.
and also that you still should seek legal advice, even if you're going to go one of those routes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, with an arbitrator, you still have your own attorney because it's...
But the mediation.
Right, with the mediation.
Yeah, the mediation especially.
Because sometimes the mediators don't know... I mean, for example, I had a client come to me several weeks ago, and they were buying their spouse out.
For a business?
Of the house.
Of the house, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the mediator did not tell them, or maybe the mediator did not know, that Chester County changed their rules and now take off 7% off the top to cover the eventual sale of the house and transfer tax. Montgomery County has always done that. Chester County just started. So by the person coming to me for a consult and me telling them that, I saved them 7% of what they would have had to, or 3.5% of the buyout amount. So that kind of thing is important.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So let's shift gears a little. I know, just like me, you're a big advocate of dogs.
Yes.
And you have Welsh Corgis.
I have 4
How
Welsh
many do you have? You have 4?
3 are rescues.
Okay.
3 have been adopted.
Okay.
And the other one is a homegrown.
And they're a big part of your life.
They're a big part of my life.
And they come with you to work.
They come with me to work,
Which
yes.
I love.
Yeah. All 4 used to come, but it got a little bit noisy, so now only 2 of them come.
Okay.
And then 2 of them stay home. And
do you trade off so that they all get time at the office, or?
Every once in a while, all 4 will come in, but the 2 older ones come in every day.
Okay.
And then the 2 stay home and they have a person who takes them running every day.
Okay.
And they have a doggy door, and they're fine. They weren't born into the office life like the 2 that come in. So, but the 2 that come in are, they're frickin' frack, basically. And they're great. They're great to have in the office. They're great for the clients. New clients coming in. I told you before we started that the other day I found a prospective client sitting on the floor playing with one of the dogs, and she was all embarrassed. I'm like, no, that's just perfectly fine. It broke the ice. It calmed her down. Every once in a while, a client will, because it's an emotional time, start crying, and the dog will come up and sit in their laps, the little one. The bigger Corgi, he's a little bit too big to sit in anybody's lap. We do give people lint brushes on their way out. But I've never had a client who did not like the dogs.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, it is, going to a legal office in general is a stressful situation for a lot of people. And the kind of work that you do, except for maybe the adoption, is pretty stressful.
Right.
So people coming into the office, you know, it's almost like animal therapy.
It can be emotional, and they start petting a dog, and you know, I see that they're just starting to calm down. And it's funny because we have a doctor's office down the hall from us, and a couple of their patients, when they come in to get their blood pressure checked, will come to my office first and play with the dogs, and they believe it lowers their blood pressure.
I bet it does. Yeah.
And so it's nice, and it's nice for us as attorneys because the dogs are, you know, they're funny, and they, you know, they make it easier for us. You know, we deal stress all day long, and every once in a while we'll just get up and start playing ball with the dogs, or the dog will jump in the lap, and it's just a way to calm us down as well.
Also, I would think during the day it gives you a reason to go outside.
Yes.
And I know a lot of times working in an office, particularly your own business, you know, you always have a reason not to go outside. And it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least the dogs kind of force that as well.
The dogs do.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's funny because I have a client who, once in a while, a client will bring in their dog, and we'll have a play date, and, you know, they feel good about it because their dog is in the office with them.
Right.
And my dogs are fine. And, you know, it's really helped. It actually, having dogs in the office have helped to settle a case years ago. I had a horrendous divorce case, and we were, the parties just couldn't even agree that today was Tuesday.
Okay.
And we had both attorneys there and both parties there, and the parties were so entertained by the dogs that they actually started to talk to each other and smile and laugh. And they settled the case that we thought was an impossible situation.
That's a great story.
Yeah, it really helped. And it was like the other attorney and I thought, okay, now we have to bring dogs to court because
Right.
that's how we'll settle all of our cases.
Well, that was something I was going to ask you about too. Is, you know, I've been reading maybe in the last year more and more you have courtrooms that are bringing dogs. For example, in abuse situations with children where it's very hard for them to come in and testify, they're actually bringing dogs into certain court arenas.
Chester County is starting to do that. Judge Wheatcraft is a big proponent of that. She sits in dependency court, and she does have a dog in training. Most dogs that you see around the courthouse are the German Shepherds, and they're the sheriff's dogs. But they're all, at least in Chester County, they're all very friendly. And I do know that for me, when I go into the courthouse and I'm stressed and I see one of the dogs and the sheriff allows me to pet it, or I always should have bones in my pockets too, it lowers my stress.
Sure.
So I think that'd be a great idea.
I think it's a great idea. Yeah. And, you know, so I want to talk a little about your nonprofit that you do, which
Okay.
is also dog related.
Yes.
So tell everybody about that.
I started Give a Dog a Bone in December of 1999 on a whim. And what we do is we provide bones, food, toys, treats, collars, leashes, blankets, everything that you can possibly think of for a dog, to area rescues and shelters all across the country. Our big drives are around the holidays, and then we do another one in the summer. We respond to hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, fires, anything like that. And anytime any local organization needs our help, we do it. And it's really rewarding because at least for the local rescues, like I went to Delaware County SPCA before the holidays and I delivered everything. And, you know, I fed all the dogs bones and gave them all treats and played with them. And it's just, you know, it's really rewarding giving back.
Absolutely.
And that's the way we give back.
Yeah. So what do you have coming up? I know there's a couple big signature events and drives you do during the year.
Yes.
Tell us what's coming up for Give a Dog a Bone.
In April, we were going to have the past 2 years, we've had a fall fiesta. We did not have that list this fall. It's coming up at the Saturday Club in Wayne in April.
Okay.
I think it's April 26th. We're going to be doing some smaller fundraising events over the summer at various businesses. And then we do our big drive in the fall.
Okay.
So
the big fundraiser event will be in April.
Yes.
Okay. And people can get information. You have your own website for
we
the
have our own
nonprofit as well,
website,
right?
Website giveadogabone.us.
Okay.
And we have our own Facebook page, Give a Dog a Bone, and people can get information from that.
Great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, and you're also very involved in the horse community.
Yes, I am.
And you have your own horses.
I have my own horses.
Yeah.
I've been riding since I was 10 years old. Gave it up for a long time between college, law school, and starting my legal career. Went back to it about 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and I have 3 horses right now. One's he'll be, well, technically they all have their birthday on January 1st, but he's technically will be 2, and then I have 2 horses that one's shown professionally and one that I ride.
Wow. And how often do you ride?
As often as I can.
Yeah.
The baby horse is in Tennessee, and he's not really of age to ride yet. He's really just going to be doing beauty pageants this spring.
Okay.
He'll be at Devon. And then my older horses, I try to ride as much as I possibly can on the weekends, but unfortunately they winter in Florida.
Okay. Got it.
And I winter here.
And you winter here with your practice. Yes, that makes sense.
So
yeah.
One of these days, but no, for right now I winter here.
Okay.
So
tell me about maybe a personal goal you have for 2016 that's not related to your business, something on your bucket list or just something that you're hoping to accomplish, especially since we're at the beginning of the new year.
Not related to my business. Just living life.
Yeah.
Being happy, being self-fulfilled. That's really it. I did a bucket list trip in over the holidays 2014, 2015, which was to South Africa, which was always on my bucket list.
Was it everything you hoped it would be?
And more. It was just really incredible.
That's great. That's great.
Really incredible. But I don't really have those kind of grandiose plans for this year yet, maybe.
But I think, taking time for yourself
Right.
and being fulfilled and happy, those are goals that we all
Right.
have to keep in mind, especially running your own practice.
That's right.
I know you work around the clock, so
right.
being conscious of that kind of in your mind, that you have to take time for yourself and
think
that
it's
you
really
are the
important.
priority. Yeah.
It's really important because you lose sight of that. Because I'm in a caregiver role, so
Yeah.
to speak, and you take care of everybody else. And I always say to my accountant, all my clients' tax returns are all filed by April 15th, and I'm talking to him on October 14th to get mine filed by October 15th,
Right.
the last day.
Right.
So that is really my goal for 2015 is take care of my practice, take care of my clients, and also take care of myself and my family.
I think that's a great goal for the year. Yeah. So tell people how they can reach your practice and you if they need your services.
My office is in Radnor, although we practice in Chester, Montgomery, and Delaware County. They can call the office. Telephone number is 610-975-9898. They can go to our website, which is vladimerlaw.com, VLADIMER law.com, and they can reach me on. We have our own Facebook page, the office does, and I have a personal Facebook page.
And it sounds like we're going to have videos to look forward to as
Yes.
well. Yes.
Yes.
So last question, is there a networking group locally that you would recommend to people that's been successful or has worked well for you?
I think the networking group that I probably enjoy the most is Femfessionals, for women. I don't belong to any men's networking, solely men's, obviously, for obvious reasons. But Femfessionals, it's business women. It's women really from all different types of businesses, whether it's a business they're working out of their home or in an office. And I enjoy that. I enjoy the caliber of people. I enjoy the stories. I enjoy the camaraderie. I really enjoy that
Wonderful.
group.
Yeah, and for those of you who've watched the show before, you know that I talk about Femfessionals often, and
Yes.
some of my guests do as well, and it's a group I would definitely recommend. Femfessionals.com is the national organization. You can look up our city of Philadelphia and check the group out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I like that it has evening activities as well as day, because as you and I have talked, day activities are difficult.
It's tough for some people.
With court and juggling clients, and clients like to come see me during their lunch hour or things like that.
Yeah,
So-
and I think from a networking perspective, it's important to realize what networking works for you.
Right.
And if during the day networking doesn't work, that's fine. There's
right.
all kinds of other things you can be doing.
Yes, there is.
So thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
And thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.